your star candidate fell out of the process midway or maybe even at the end of the process. Sometimes we see this challenge, and while there can often be surprises in the interview process due to many different factors, there are ways that we can avoid your star candidate self-selecting out of the process midway through, or even sometimes I see it happen a lot at the very last step in the interview process. And one reason that I often see is the story of the role changes throughout or midway or even at the end of the interview process. Let's think about this. When you are ready to start your search, you're excited to hire for that role, you get your recruiter partner on the phone and you share with them the story of the role, the culture of the company if they're not already familiar, your ideal candidate, your must-haves, your nice-to-haves, your no-goes, what's not going to work. You take the time to arm and equip and prepare your recruiter to start hunting and searching and deliver results successfully. And they do it for you. They find your star candidate and you're excited moving them through the process. But then things change. The story of the role changes throughout the process. Maybe what the day-to-day responsibilities, the day in the life is actually going to look like. Maybe there's a change in the compensation. Maybe there's a change in the geography. Maybe there's a change in the travel. Maybe there's a change in the opportunity and timeline for promotion. These are important details that are going to matter to the candidate. So remember to always put yourself in the shoes of the candidate and think about if the candidate if the initial story at the start of the interview process that the candidate heard attracted them to your role, but then that story later changes, then it becomes easy to see how that candidate can drop out of the process because they learn, oh, well, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And it's much better, of course, for this to happen on the front end, but it can also happen on the back end, meaning the candidate takes the offer and then later after accepting the role learns, oh, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I thought it was going to be. So yes, sometimes we want to just go ahead and get started. Maybe you're in a startup like company culture. Maybe you're with a true startup and sometimes we don't know all of the details and we have to just get started and figure out some along the way. But keep in mind, taking that time as best as you can on the front end to really lock in your story of the role, what the day-to-day looks like, what the company culture is, what the ideal candidate is going to look like, their profile, their experience, their culture fit, their leadership style, the day-to-day, making sure that they have a clear picture of what the role looks like, the story of the opportunity before they start moving through the process, before you start your search. This is going to save you so much time on the back end. Thanks for watching. If this resonated, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.